Feel into your connection with earth through the feet, from the pelvis down through the legs. It's almost like you're pushing down, like you could push your feet a little deeper into the earth. And let the toes just rest there, but feel them on the ground. Now from your pelvis, lengthen the spine skyward. Broaden across your shoulder girdle, lift the heart center, and find your shoulder blades on the back ribs. Pelvis roots down into the soles of the feet, pressing deep into the earth. Spine lifts away from the pelvis, lengthening up towards the sky. Broad across your shoulder girdle, relax the shoulders away from the ears while still lengthening from pelvis to shoulder. This is something I really want us to learn in Pilates, to lengthen from pelvis to the shoulder girdle. So feel into lengthening the spine, lengthening from your back hip pockets, your butt cheeks up to your shoulder blades. Stretching across the shoulder girdle, gently lift the heart away from the pubic bone. Now relax your arms down by your sides and gently shake the hands. Shake the arms all the way up to the shoulder girdle. Shake the humerus bone. You're inviting hypertonic muscles in the arms and shoulder girdle to release. And then relax the arms. Relax the arms. Let them grow long and heavy. Still broad across your shoulder girdle. Shoulder blades still lovingly hugging the back ribs wide. Now come into the breath. Invite it deep into the belly. Imagine an orb of energy 2 to 3 inches under your navel, growing on the inhale and expanding front to back, side to side, in every direction expanding. Feel into that expansion in that lower abdominal pelvis region. This region is the center for our gravity, center of balance in Tai Chi, in dance. Really visualize that orb at the center, 2 to 3 inches below the navel, set back. Breathe into it, let it grow and let it release. Let it expand energetically and relax. And then from this energy center, breathe up to the heart and expand the heart. Same way, big ball of energy expanding the chest, even as the big ball of energy expands in the pelvis. Now bring your one hand to your neck crease, right at the center, and swallow. And feel for that little hyoid bone moving in there. And let it rest back up and in. The base of your skull will lift slightly. Now picture an orb of energy just into the skull behind the third eye. We'll let it grow as you inhale and relax as you exhale. Now really visualize the lower energy center, the heart energy center, and this center inside behind the third eye, and let them line up one over the other, like they're floating one over the other. And then gently open your eyes if they've been closed. Let the eyes rest back in their sockets. And let your arms begin to swing. And swing the right hand forward, left hand out to the side, left hand forward, right hand out to the side, and sway foot to foot, outer hip distance wide, foot to foot. Just feel how your balance shifts. Lift the weight off the one foot, just coming up maybe to the toes. Really feel the hug of the foot on the earth, but still visualize those 3 orbs balanced one over the other. They move, but they're staying in connection. And then let yourself swing a little farther out and a little farther out and let the leg lift and lift. Feel the hug of the foot. This line of these three energy centers can move to help you balance. So as you weight over one foot, you arc a little bit with the body, counterbalancing with the movement. And let the arms release down and float up, release down. Let them move with the energy of the movement. So you're not tightening the shoulders, not tightening the fingers. It's just kind of a swing, like you're on the swing. The swing is taking you. The energy centers still in line with each other in a kind of arc. And then keep the swing of the legs and let the arms swing side to side. Let them be heavy, like pendulum swinging. Try to still come foot to foot. You may start to feel like, okay, my hips are feeling it a little bit. And then we'll try the arm motion. Let the arms come up to the left as you're over the left foot, down to the right as you're over the right foot, and switch. So they move up and down and up and down. They move up when you're on the left, down when you're on the right, up when you're on the left, down when you're on the right. Let the arms swing. Let yourself gyrate side to side. See if you can let go in the arms. If the motion needs to be smaller with the arms, let it be from the elbow. And then come to center and begin your marching. Let the arms swing forward to back. Still, let the humerus bone in the arms be heavy so that you're tractioning the humerus out of the shoulder girdle a little bit. And again, line up your three energy centers. Fluid breath. Let yourself march. March with the head up and back. Energy centers lined up one over the other. So your head can't be out here. We're upright. It may help to ground the tailbone behind you. And again, feel your feet as they come down, hugging the ground. And then let yourself run. Let yourself run a little bit. Jog it. Step it up. And then if you want to go a little harder, let the knees lift and let the arms work. Now notice, have you gripped in the neck and shoulders? Can you still release the shoulders as you go a little faster? And stop. Pause, feet outer, hip distance wide, feet hugging the earth. Now come to the breath. Breathe deep into the lower torso and let it fill you up to the collarbones. Let the arms rise out to the sides. Palms facing down. Release at the top of the shoulder girdle. Let the hyoid bone rest back and in. Part of the reason the shoulders get stiff is we do this with our head. Let the hyoid bone rest back and in. The shoulders release away from the ears. And bring the hands forward, palms clap and open. Forward and open and forward and open, and let it be a swing. And step and step and knee lifts and knee lifts and knee lifts and knee lifts and knee, 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 and stop. And roll one shoulder and then the other. And roll and roll, roll and roll and roll both shoulders. And circle at the elbow. Let the arms swing and circle at the elbow. And then circle at the wrist. Fingers wrapped around the thumbs, circle at the wrist. Let the arms come in front of you and circle. Take your circles the other way and circle wide. And circle down. and circle the other way up, and circle the other way forward and down, and circle the other way up, and palms out, fingers spread. Take a deep inhale and look out over your right fingers, and exhale to center, and inhale, deep inhale to the left, and exhale to center, and release your arms down. Reach your fingers for the floor, broad across the shoulder girdle, shoulder blades on the back. Press your palms back, and inhale, look out over your right shoulder. Exhale to center. Inhale, look out over the left. Exhale to center, and pick up your long TheraBand. Hold the TheraBand right in front of your legs, and as you press back and broaden across the shoulder girdle, inhale and look right. Ground your tailbone. Lift the center of the heart. Head of the arm bones being trained back. So you're pulling back against your own legs, but the head of the arm bones are not popping forward. They're coming back. Shoulder blades onto your back. Exhale, center. Inhale, look left. Holding those shoulder blades on the back. Pressure into the palms. Heels grounding. Tailbone grounding. Hyoid bone resting in. Can you feel the hug of your feet on the floor even as you work the upper body? So we get used to feeling our connection with gravity from that center in the pelvis into the feet. And we come back to center. Let the hyoid bone rest back, the head rest back, shoulder blades on the back body. Feel them broad across the shoulder girdle. And release. And roll the shoulders. Bring the hands back behind you. Hands to either side of your hips, holding your TheraBand, and reaching your knuckles down. Lift the arms up behind you. Now heels are aligned with sit bones, knees bend, and we lift the arms behind us and we begin to fold forward, stopping wherever it's best in your body. Shoulders reach away from the skull, neck is long. Some of you will be able to lay your torso towards your femur bones and lift the arms skyward. Some of you will be able to lift your sit bones skyward. Stop where it's best for your body. It's not about getting as far into the pose as you can unless the energy can move through it and help you open. Check in that your exhales are helping you relax the tissue. Feel into your three-dimensional breath in the torso. And then exhale, arms back up, unhinge. And release your TheraBand and pick up your hand weights. My hand weights are cans of tonic today. I didn't like not having anything in my hand for proprioception the other day. Here I am. Come into your Golfos position. Now here again, feel the feet hug the floor. Inhale up your length and exhale. Close your pinkies towards each other and inhale, open up and exhale and inhale. So we've done a little shoulder opening so far. Can you continue it by being aware in the movement, by not gripping, but allowing fluidity as you cat curl the spine, bringing the pinkies together and open the palms and lift the heart. And exhale and inhale and exhale and inhale. Feel your feet hugging the floor. Come back to the inhale. Neutral, feel for the three energy orbs, one above the other, and reach your hands skyward. Reach skyward, feel your feet grounding you on the floor and roll up to your toes. And roll back down to the feet. And inhale, fill the torso as you roll up and exhale down. Use the three-dimensional breath to help you open the myofascia of the body. And then exhale, down, elbows wide. Inhale, reach, lift up to the toes. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, pause, ground the right foot. Inhale to the toe of the left. Exhale, ground left, lift right. And continue, either lifting the knee or lifting to the toe. Pressing and releasing. Feel into that foot hugging the ground and your three orbs lining up over each other. This is a great balance practice. Find your orbs. Most of us carry the head orb way forward, which pulls the heart orb forward. We want these three little balls, like the ping pong ball behind your third eye, the tennis ball at the heart, and the lacrosse ball in your pelvis. We want them lining up. And they're not heavy like that. They're light energy balls. So the spine can be long. And one more. And release your arms wide. Bring the hands in front of the legs and inhale your snow angel. And exhale down. And take the left toes out and reach skyward and lift the leg if you like. And down and inhale and exhale. Now think of that arc of orbs balancing the body. Think of how the leg counterbalances the movement. Feel your foot hugging earth. All ways to visualize coming into better balance. Now you can stay with the fluid movement like this, or you can lift yourself up and pause and hold and lift and lengthen, and then exhale back down and try the other side, lifting, really hug the foot, feel the orbs, feel the reach, and release. One more time. Take the other side, lifting and holding and releasing, and lifting and holding and releasing, and pausing. Fluid breath. Let your orbs line up and circle your hands forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Up here, upright. Let the hyoid bone rest in. And circle the other way down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Down. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Line up those orbs. And one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Hold. Release your shoulders away from the skull. Broad shoulders. And circle down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Let your arms swing. So we bring the gyro-kinetics in to the weightlifting work and allow the arms to traction out. And then you can gently pendulum yourself forward. And if you need to have a support under one hand and do one arm at a time, you can. But if you can come forward with both, let both arms dangle and circle. And just let the arms release. So you get the circles going, and then you just let yourself rest into it. Don't underestimate the importance of this tractioning work. A lot of times we work and work the body, but we don't let it release. Invite space in to the joints and circle the other way. Now remember, if this is hard on your back, you could put a hand on a chair and lift back up and let the arms pendulum. Okay, this is all part of that shoulder opening work, tied into the gyrokinetics. And let's put our weights down and let's do one more little series with the gyrokinetics. Let's let ourselves come, feet outer hip distance wide, and let the arms swing. And let them swing in the figure 8 across the body, one palm up, one palm down. And let your whole body shift with the swinging. And feel into and imagine, what are these little orbs doing? How do they move, like in this kind of fluid line to help me achieve balance? And notice if, because your arms are out in front of you, you're sticking your head way out, and look at what that line does to the body. Let it come back up. Let yourself lean back. Let the tailbone ground, the low rib rag stabilize you, the base of the back of the skull stabilize you. And then perhaps the arms go farther and you come into a twist, perhaps not. Feel how your weight shifts on your feet, and let yourself just enjoy the sense of groundedness, space, and fluid movement. Really try to be present in the body for the movement. Because when we do new movements and we really feel into and acknowledge them, it will help us know where we are in space. It will help our proprioception all day long. And then let the arms still in front of you and circle, circle, up, 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 circle, forward, forward, down, down, down. Now let the arms lift, come together and down, lift together and down. Let the focus be on fluid motion. Doesn't always have to be with hand weights. And how could you make the motion more fluid, more long for you? Could go right into a Qigong stretch where your elbows come back, palms up, heart lifts, heart folds over. See, so these are Pilates circles right here. These are Pilates hand arm circles. But we can take them a little farther if that feels good in the body into a Qigong flow. So I'm inviting you to play a little bit with your own body. And then take your circles the other way, out, down, and up. This is the Pilates circle. For some, the circle can come higher. And then how could you, in your own imagination, make the circles different? Maybe you want to lift the heart. Maybe you want to make them smaller or come into the chest. I just want you to begin playing with movement that helps you stretch and open. And then release. And let's come to the mat. Okay, so we've done a little work physically moving, dynamic stretching, and now we're going to come to the mat and come back into breath-related movement. Okay, so we come down, and I either want you to have your two blocks and bring them in under you, one block under you, or your ball, or your oov, right under your sacrum. And come into a supported bridge with your arms resting open, palms up. And invite the breath into the abdomen, into the low back, into the full circle of the ribs. Now picture your little chain of balls here now, still energetically interconnected. Shoulder girdle broad and relaxed, head of the arm bones relaxing back. This is shoulder opening work right here if you can relax the head of your humerus back. This is one of the best places to practice three-dimensional breath. Breathe into the whole circle of your lowest ribs. Relax on the exhales. Perhaps that relaxation comes with a sigh, exhaling out loud. Sighing does physiologically tell the body it can relax. So feel free to do out loud sighs. You're all muted. Feel for where there's tension in the body and see if you can let it go with the exhales. You can still even here invite these three orbs to pulse on the inhale and the exhale. Feel them grow inside the torso. The energy clear the mind. And you stay with this three-dimensional breath and float one leg up to tabletop on an exhale. Take an inhale, three-dimensional. Exhale, float the other leg up. Knees as wide as shoulders, toe dip. Inhaling down and exhaling up. Can you still feel for a three-dimensional breath? Breathe into the back body, which is lifted up off the floor. Inhaling and exhaling. Shoulders broad, head of the arm bones resting back. Now bring the legs together, bring the hands up to face each other across your torso. Hug the legs together, wake up your glutes, and inhale your left leg out to the left and pause. Feel into the left shoulder, connect it to the right hip pocket, and exhale to center. Inhale the right leg out, pause, take a few breaths, and feel for shoulder connected to hip pocket, and come back in. And switch sides, feel the strength of your back body as you go out and in, side to side. Check in that the hyoid bone is resting back, that your neck is soft, that your gaze is perpendicular to the floor. And then coming back to center, draw one knee in towards the chest, lengthen the other leg out. Inhale, inhale, exhale, 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 inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale, exhale. Still feel for three-dimensional inhales. Fluid exhale. Shoulders still resting broad. Jaw still relaxed. Come right into riding your bicycle. Continue to feel for the breath filling the body, expanding it in each direction. Take time with your exhales. Flex your feet. Spread your toes. Take the bicycles the other way. Even as your front core activates, where can the breath expand your torso? Shoulders staying grounded. The orb in the heart inflating on the inhales and the exhales. Come back to center. Lift your legs straight up. Flex your feet and go walking towards the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stay aware of your broad shoulders as you come down. And then come back up. And then bend your knees. And bring one foot to the floor and the other. And lengthen one leg out. Or if you have the flexibility, both legs out. And come back to your fluid three-dimensional breath. So we warmed up a little today, and then we came into three-dimensional breath concentration work. Really try to feel your whole body breathing like a sleeping puppy or a sleeping baby. If you have one leg out, switch sides. Fluid breath. And step your feet back in and lift up off your prop and lower the pelvis down. Place one finger right in the center of your navel and the other on the center of your sternum. And come into your somatic walking. Press into your right foot, take the right knee forward, lift the right hip, and then switch sides. Now what I want you to feel for is your navel, how it moves as you rock your pelvis back and forth in the somatic walking. Notice how the navel moves with the pelvis across as you rock. Now feel into the hand at your sternum. And I'm hoping that you'll notice the sternum rocking in opposition to the navel. And then imagine your head and which direction it rocks. So even though we have these energetic orbs lined up one over the other, there's a fluidity, there's a motion, there's a springiness to how the spine works, how the body moves, and we want to allow for that. So feel your sternum move one way as your navel moves the other. Let the body rock. And then exhale. One leg to tabletop and the other to table. Draw your right knee in, extend your left leg out, nod nose towards mouth. Almost lift from the hairline or lift And think of those three orbs in a beautiful arc, and switch and switch and switch and switch. Find a breathing rhythm, whether it's inhale, inhale, exhale, 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 or something else. Stay with a fluid inhale and an extended exhale. And then hug both knees in. Reach hands and feet for the sky. Take wrists away from ankles. Think of those three orbs lined up, your myofascial chains, circle and hug. Inhale out, exhale in. Some of you may be able to lift the head and have your line of orbs in a gentle arc. Inhaling and exhaling. We only lift the head if we're not jutting the chin. One more. Reach and hug. Take your right leg overhead, left leg long, and pulse, pulse, and switch. Pulse, 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 pulse. Let the head of the arm bones rest back as you lift the hands up to reach up your calf towards your ankle. Pulse, 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 pulse. If you'd like to, nod nose towards mouth and lift or almost lift the head from the hairline, activating your front neck flexors. Try to keep the spine long and fluid. And then come back to center, bending the knees and bring the hands in behind the head. If this is hard on your shoulders, don't do it. But if you can sustain this and it feels comfortable, even with your elbows a little off the floor, it just provides us a new position. You can either toe dip one foot at a time or take both feet, toe dipping. Ground your low rib ring back and exhale up. Inhale the motion down. Exhale up. Some of you will be able to gently lift the head. Rest the head back in the hands. Rest the hyoid bone back as you toe dip and lift and toe dip and lift. Last one, toe dip and lift. And then reach the right elbow skyward as you lengthen out the right leg. Think of those orbs in a nice arc and switch and switch and switch and switch. Again, find your rhythm with the breath. Find smooth movement with the legs. Make sure you're not flinging them through space. You're pressing them with control through space. You're lifting the elbows, lifting the elbows, lifting the elbows, and coming back to center. And floating one foot to the floor and then the other. No pillow under your head, palms facing each other across the torso, lift the pelvis. Somatic walking side to side. One hip lifts and then the other. Now, can you relax after that core work? Let that front psoas pathway open. The quads, the front legs stretch. Come back to the rhythm of the breath and a three-dimensional breath. Pause in your center, lifted bridge pose, three-dimensional breath. Try to feel the breath in the back and the side bodies. Feel the front body relax on the exhales. And then roll yourselves onto your belly. Place your backs of your hands under your forehead. In yoga, this is called crocodile pose. Right here, breathe deep into the belly. Feel the pressure of the belly against the floor. This is good for the intestines. And try to breathe into your back and side waists. Opening up a three-dimensional breath is fundamental for using the core. Now, lift your right foot, take it back behind you and put it down. Lift your left foot, stretch it back behind you, put it down. Lift both feet. Ground your pubic bone. Stay with your three-dimensional breath. Put the feet down, press into the arms, lift the head towards a kind of Sphinx pose, and continue the three-dimensional breath. Breathe into the side bodies. Feel for the movement of the diaphragm. You can stay here or bring your arms parallel to each other, elbows under shoulders in Sphinx pose. Continue to feel for the movement of the diaphragm as you inhale. It balloons down into the abdomen. As you exhale, it mushrooms up under the lungs. Feel for its movement around the circumference of the rib cage, the lowest ribs. And now, bring one heel towards one sit bone, kick, kick, and release. The other heel, kick, kick, and release. Kick, kick, and release. This is intermediate Pilates mat right here. You've got to keep your tailbone reaching for your heels down the mat so that you don't stress the spine. If you feel tension in this, it might be because we've tightened your psoas. So after warming it up, we come to releasing it. Kick, kick, release, kick, kick, release, kick, kick, release. Come back down, forehead towards the floor, palms down by your hips. If you have a large kyphosis, you may want to come up onto your bolster. And inhale, broad across your shoulder girdle, lift up. Lift up into what's called Salambhasana in yoga. Stretch tailbone away from base of skull. This brings us towards advanced mat practice, an exercise called swimming. Fluid breath. Exhale, release, forehead onto the backs of the hands. Now, really try to relax here. Three-dimensional breath. This is another great place to practice three-dimensional breath. So you can do any of those previous exercises, or if you want to try another, you inhale, lift up. Some of you may need to be on your bolster. You bring your arms wide in your goalpost, and you exhale. Right forearm towards the floor, lift left, and you twist and switch, and switch. So Evan, you'll recognize this from OOV class. Switch and switch, and you could be up on your OOV doing this. Switch and switch. This work where we're on our belly is really good for our digestive tract because notice you're putting pressure across your intestines as you strengthen the back of your shoulders. And come back to center. Release your forehead to your hands. Come back to your fluid three-dimensional breath. Relaxing on the exhales. And then hands under shoulders, roll up into tabletop. And take your knees wide and roll back into child's pose. If child's pose isn't comfortable, stay in tabletop. And feel again right here for your three-dimensional breath. Breathe the whole torso open. Let the belly move towards the ground, the side waists and the back open. And then plant your hands and roll up into your downward dog. Child's pose and downward dog are other great places to practice your three-dimensional breath. You're putting yourself into a physical posture that invites the body to breathe three-dimensionally. So if you're a chest breather and have a hard time breathing deep, these are poses where you can practice deeper breath. You could do this in dolphin on your forearms or half dog against the wall. Now we're building upper body bone density strength. Fluid breath. Float forward into your plank. You can stay in the forward plank or lift one foot off the ground and hold. Fluid breath. Long neck, let the hyoid bone rest up and in. Think of aligning your orbs. Release that foot, lift the other. Fluid, three-dimensional breath. Each finger pad active, your index finger knuckle planted. Foot releases, roll back again into your downward dog. And then step your feet forward. Bend your knees, standing child's pose. Wonderful for three-dimensional breath. Breathe into the whole circle of the lowest ribs. Feel for the expansion of your rib cage, the belly against your legs. Breathe into the side bodies. Relax on the exhales. And then with knees bent, activate Mula Bandha, Uddiyana Bandha. Activate your core as you float up, hands to the heart, Utkatasana. Pause in your Utkatasana and align the pelvic orb, the heart orb, and the orb at the third eye. Stay here or reach your arms broad, palms up. Take the head of the arm bones back first. Find your shoulder blades on the back body. Can you stay with feeling for your three-dimensional breath? Stay here or bring your arms up alongside your ears. Release the shoulders away from the skull. Broaden the shoulder girdle. Three-dimensional breath. Feel for your feet hugging the earth. Feel for those three orbs lining up. And inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, hands through the heart. Standing mountain pose. Okay, let's get our block and move to a wall so that we can do our standing leg series, side lying series. Okay, so you'll bring the block close to the wall or the piece of furniture that you want to hold on to. Some of you may be able to do it without holding on, but you might just want it there in case. And let your leg just pendulum for a moment down. Pendulum for a moment down. Think of those orbs still kind of in line with each other. And really try to let your hyoid bone rest back here. Sorry, I forgot to mute everyone. Stay. So I lied. I told you all that you were muted, but you weren't. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're swinging the leg. This is really good release for the psoas. Okay. And then let's swing the knee up, forward. Swing the heel back behind. Notice if you want to hinge forward, try to keep the pelvis pretty much upright. You may put one hand on your hip to monitor that the pelvis isn't going for a ride with the leg. And then see, can you keep this heart center lifted, this third eye center resting back, and lift the knee up and lengthen the foot out and lower down. Kick your heel towards your buttock, lift the knee up, lengthen the leg out, and lower down. So think of those three orbs staying pretty much upright. They may tilt slightly forward, but pretty much upright. Hug the standing leg glute in to give you support, and let this leg bicycle. And then kick it forward, bring the knee in, and bring the leg back. A harder movement. Feel into how your hip's working. Are you jacking the hip up towards the armpit? Kind of try to feel for a stable, pretty good stability across the pelvis. Good. And then pause with the leg dangling down. Let it dangle. Keep the hips even. And then flex the dangling foot and float it out to the side and in. Again, find your line of orbs. They may create a bit of an arc, but try to keep them spacious between each other. Keep the spaces between the orbs. Shoulder blades on the back. And then bring the foot out and small circles forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and circles back, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and release the foot down and step down. And pause for a moment, just marching. And you may feel like, wow, I thought I was working that moving leg, but really it's that standing hip that was doing most of the work. Okay, and then come up onto the other side. I'm just going to move over here so I can still see. It's nice to have one person on the screen so I can see a few people. And then let the foot dangle down and really just let it pendulum. As best you can, try to let it go. So this was the hip we just worked. And notice how that can feel like such a good release to let it dangle down. And then can you keep heart lifted and third eye center resting back and kick the knee up and straighten the leg forward and release. Kick the knee up, straighten the leg forward, heart's lifted, third eye's resting back, release. Now take the foot back behind you and notice when your pelvis starts really falling forward. Don't let it go too far. Now keeping these things in mind, we will bring the knee up, extend the leg forward, release the foot down, heel to sit bone, and bicycle pedal. Now you can place one hand at least on your pelvis and think, wow, am I really jacking the moving hip way up? Try not to do that. Try to keep the pelvis level so that we're training the femur bone to move independently in the hip socket. Feel into the strength of your standing leg. And then backwards, kicking forward, draw the foot in and back. Now, can you do this without taking the pelvis too far forward? Feel into your standing leg hugging the block. Stay with your breath. One more. And then let the leg dangle. Let it just hang out. Flex the foot and lift and lower. Lift and lower. Can you stay mostly upright with your orbs spacious between them? And then lift the foot out and circle forward. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Circle back. 2, 3, 4, and 5. And release the foot and let it dangle. Shake the leg. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Let go of any tension that collected and step down. Step up with that foot so that the foot that was just standing, the leg that was standing, can dangle. And shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it and release it. And then step down. And bring your hands to your buttocks and pat your buttocks. And step your feet outer hip distance wide and come into your figure eights. And in your figure eights, now you can stretch deep into these deep six muscles we were just really working in the standing side lying pose work. And try to make it fluid. So here we meet the gyro-kinetics again, and the arms can come in, one palm down, one palm up, moving with your figure eighting hips. Stretching it out and releasing. Fluid breath and fluid movement. Yee-hoo. You can kind of visualize yourself as a belly dancer or a hula dancer. And now try to take it backwards. Just to get our neurology challenged a little bit. Building new pathways with new movements is really healthy. Feel into your feet hugging the earth, moving on the earth, weight shifting. And then let the hips circle, circle, and circle. And the other way, circle, circle, and circle. And pause in standing now. Hyoid bone resting in. Feel for that lower dantian in Qigong, that heart dantian and that third eye dantian lining up. Rest into your heels, rest onto the tailbone, and come up to the toe of one foot. Let your arms come out as proprioceptive awareness helpers, and lift the knee. And see if you can straighten the leg. Pause here. In yoga, we call it Padangustasana. If you'd like, you can lift your arms skyward. Keep those three orbs lining up in the space between them. And release. And float to the other toe. And lift the knee. Keep those orbs spacious. Keep the third eye orb resting back. And see if you can straighten the leg. Shoulder blades on your back. Three-dimensional breath. And release. Now take the first leg behind you. The orbs come into a bit more of an arc, but we still let the hyoid bone rest back, the third eye rest back, and we lift the back leg, strengthening the back body, opening the psoas pathway, and perhaps we lift the arms, working on our balance and our strength, opening the body, and then release. Take the other foot back. Lift the heel. Lift energy up the front pelvis and spine. There's your Mula Bandha, your Uddiyana Bandha. The arms may lift, but that doesn't mean the shoulders are around the ears. Broad shoulders, long torso. Feel for your three-dimensional breath. And release. Heels can click together or feet can stay parallel, and bend your knees. And zip it up and float up to the balls of your feet. And lower. Bend. Lift the heels, zip it up and lower. Bend, lift, zip and lower. Bend, lift, zip and lower. Now lift, hover. Really check in with this hyoid bone resting back and these three energy centers lined up. Bend, lower heels and zip. Float up. Bend the knees, lower the heels and zip. Float, bend, lower and zip. Float, bend, lower and zip. Release your arms. And let's take a three-dimensional inhale and draw good, healthy, healing energy into the body. Take another three-dimensional inhale, drawing in the good energy we feel after we exercise. And let's inhale in for a fabulous Friday and weekend for all of you. Okay. Little different class today.